So hello there. Today is Sunday, March 3rd, and this is Learning with Lynn. And I am Lynn.
And I'm Richard.
And he's Richard. I want to welcome you guys out today. I see there's a couple of people here already. I'm sure more will be coming on. So let me do some things here. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to share. There we go. So I'm sharing my screen. And I have this over here. So hi, Irene. Well, are you home already? Welcome.
That was a quick trip.
Welcome. Excited to have you here.
Yeah.
So today, what we're going to talk about is it's on onlinebeautybiz.com, and we are going to go down to 10 powerful recruiting techniques for massive growth in your Avon business. So this is something that's kind of important. I mean, and it's, some of it is what I repeat over and over again. So if you get sick of me saying it, I'm really sorry, but it is that important. So, hi from I-15. So Irene's still on the road. Okay, you just watched the road, okay? And Mary Alice Jones, hello there from New York.
New York.
Welcome. We're excited to have you here. So what we're going to talk about is 10 powerful recruiting techniques for massive growth in your Avon business. So as you probably know, if you want to make the most success, you want to make the most money and have the most success in your Avon business, you need to do both. You need to sell products and you need to recruit and build a team. And then when your team sells products, you make money from that. When you sell products, you make money from that. And that's how you're going to make the most money. There are reps in our company that are making close to $1 million a year. I have some good friends that I know for a fact are making like $450,000 a year. So the money is there if you're willing to put in the effort and make it work. And recruiting is where it's at. So hi, Lynn Kennedy Stenbeck from Minnesota.
New York's been hit too. So.
Yeah, so Lynn, it's been snowing here. I don't think it's snowing this minute, but it snowed all night long here too in Utah. So welcome to the snow. Hi, Anita. Arnita, good to see you. So anyway, recruiting is where it's at. You want to build your business both ways. You want to sell and you want to build a team and recruit. And don't let that scare you. There's really nothing scary about it. It's just a matter of, the first thing I want you to keep in mind, if you're new, is that no matter who you're talking to, if they're not in Avon yet, you're already ahead of them. Even if you just signed up today. Okay, you're already ahead of them. You already know how to get them signed up because you just signed up. And so you don't have to have all the answers. We're not, in fact, I don't even suggest that you do have all the answers. Because one thing I've learned over the years is that it's better for you to be real and not necessarily have all the answers so that the people you're talking to think, oh, I can do that. Whereas if you're super polished and you're perfect and everything, then they're looking at you going, I don't know if I can do that. So just be real and just keep in mind, no matter where you're at in your Avon business, you're probably ahead of the person you're talking to. And then, so when you look back at your business, here's the deal. Your business today, when you look at it 5 years from now, you're not going to recognize it. It's not going to be anything like what it is now. And 5 years from now, you're going to have people on your team who you don't even know right now. You haven't even met them. And the big business builders on your team and the people who are going gangbusters and doing great, they're probably people you haven't met yet. So just keep that in mind, that it has nothing to do with where you're at today. You literally are going to grow and you're going to change month to month, year to year. And in 5 years, you're not going to recognize your business. So, and that's a good thing, because that just goes to show that anyone can be successful. You don't have to know a lot of people. You don't have to have a big business. So Brenda Lloyd, so true. I'm just now in 5 years. It is so true.
I just want to say real quick, I remember, just happened to think of it's kind of a catchphrase that we ran into as we started out too. But a lot of times they say that your customers, your sales that you're getting now, that's today's money. And the recruiting you do, the team you're building, is your tomorrow money.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And one of my best friends, Tina Beer, she says all the time that, where you are now, how does she word that?
See,
you might
overestimate. You overestimate what you'll
it is.
do in 1 year and underestimate where you'll be in 5 years.
Yeah, so most people underestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 years. And so if you just hold off and just make the commitment that you're going to be in for 5 years, and I bet you Brenda is going to agree with me on this, but if you just hang in there for the 5 years and you keep working your business, you're not going to recognize it. So really, it's seriously true. So let's go through the 10 powerful recruiting techniques. Number 1, make a decision. That's, nothing happens until a decision is made. If you sign up to sell Avon and you go, I'm going to see what will happen, you know what? You're not going to build a business because you haven't made a decision that you're going to build a business. Instead, you're just kind of playing around with it. Oh, we'll see what happens. Let's just see if it all drops in my lap. It doesn't work that way. You have to make the decision. And so that's the number 1 most important thing that you can do is make the decision that no matter what, you're going to be successful and that you're not going to give up. Make up your mind that you're going to learn and develop the skills that you need as a star recruiter. And make up your mind that you're going to overcome the fear of talking to people. Most of us start out afraid to talk to people, almost every one of us. There's even top people that are like senior executives with Avon. Now they're called platinum executives that are still shy and afraid to talk to people, but they force themselves to do it, and that's why they're successful. So your decision needs to be larger than your fears and your insecurities. You can do this, but before you can do it, you have to have made that decision. And so, you can grow every day. You don't have to be a massive expert right now. Brenda says, so many say, here goes nothing. We should be saying,
here goes everything.
Here goes everything.
Yeah,
that is so true because it's amazing what we can accomplish in our Avon business if we go with that attitude. Here goes everything. Everything needs to be dependent on your decision to be successful. And it's funny, I was just reading something the other day. I was doing some research about a blog post I was writing, and it was an article about can you be successful with Avon. Actually, they were talking, it was a direct sales website about they reviewed different direct sales companies, and they said, can you be successful with Avon? And their response was ultimately, no, you can't. And I couldn't believe the things they were saying. They were saying, well, only 1% of the company makes the good money. But, if you look at the people, and I can tell you this from my team, I have a pretty good sized team, and I work with a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends in Avon, and only 1% have made that decision that they're going to be successful. It's so amazing to me when I get team members that say to me, I can't make any sales. Nobody wants to buy anything. And then I ask them, well, how many brochures did you give out? Well, I gave one to my mom. Okay, gee, I wonder why you're not making any money. It's not that hard, right? And so I just couldn't believe that article because it's saying, only 1% of reps make the big money. Well, that's in any company. I don't care who you are. And even if you're a realtor and you work for Keller Williams in an office of 300 people, it's still only going to be 1% of the reps of the realtors at Keller Williams are going to make the big money. It doesn't matter where you are. And Arnita says attitude is everything. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so we've made the decision, right? We have made the decision that no matter what, we're going to be successful. That's huge. That's like almost the most important thing. So now we're going to develop a recruiting mindset. So think about, first thing what you want to do is you want to get really clear on what the opportunity is that we have to offer, because we have an amazing opportunity. I was just listening to Timothy Brown. He did a training yesterday, and if you haven't seen it, you should go do it. You should go watch it. But he did a training. Hi, Timothy. Good to see you. But Timothy did a training yesterday on how to recruit men. And, I look at him, I look at Timothy, and he just amazes me. I don't know how that man has so much energy, because he's a full-time doctor. He's an eye doctor, physician. He's a doctor, and yet he sells $220,000 a year with Avon, and he develops a team, and he's just amazing. And why would a doctor sell Avon, right? We have lots of people. I have people on my team who, some of them, a lot of them need the money. Okay, a lot of people come into Avon because join the group first. Yeah, Irene, you're cute. But anyway, a lot of people come into Avon because they need money, or maybe they've had a life change, or maybe they're like, oh, I want to be home with my kids and I don't want to send them to a babysitter. And they actually need it for the money, right? But I have had other people on my team who don't need it for the money, who have I have one lady on my team who's mega rich. She lives in Palm Springs and she gets plastic surgeries every other week with all of her friends who are rich. And she doesn't do it for that. But she does it because it makes her feel important. It makes her feel like she's adding value and doing something. And I don't really know Timothy's reason, but it ain't for the money. I can tell you that, because he made good money as a doctor. So anyway, I'm sorry, you guys. We're both still trying to get over the flu here. So anyway, so think about, what are you getting out of Avon? What was the reason why you got into Avon? Why did you start? Did you originally start because you needed money? Did you originally start because you were bored? Did you start because you have breast cancer, and Avon is so big on the breast cancer, and you believe in the products and the opportunity and the company? What was the reason you started? And then what did you get out of it? Did Avon meet those needs? Or what are you getting out of it? Are you making money, or do you see the potential to make money? Maybe you're not making it yet, because sometimes it takes time to build that business. But what's the potential? Avon has so much to offer, and you need to be proud of that. You need to be really proud of that, because you don't want to be embarrassed to talk to somebody about the Avon opportunity, because we have so much to offer. Brenda Lloyd says time, talking about Timothy. Where does he get it? He multiplies what we all have somehow. No kidding. No kidding. I asked him, when do you ever sleep? And he says, who needs sleep? But I mean, he's got a family. He spends time with his kids. But anyway, that wasn't really my point. My point is, we have something valuable to offer. We have the ability to offer a business opportunity to someone for $25 that they can take and grow into a business of $450,000 a year, you know,
or more,
or $1 million a year. I'm reading Elizabeth Critton's book right now. I'm actually in it. I should have had it with me. I'm actually in it. It came out 2 years ago, From Knocking on Doors to Making Millions. And she talks about in her book that everybody calls her lucky. And she says, actually, I guess that means I must be doing a fantastic job if they think I'm lucky, because I make it look so easy. But, you know, she opened a store. She has an LABC. And at the time of the book, she was selling $600,000 a year. And I'm sure that's giving her a really nice income. But in the beginning, she had to work 90 or 100 hours a week without getting paid in order to build that business. And I know all about that, because Richard and I had a store about 10 years ago for about 2 years, I think. And we worked our butt off. I mean, we were there from morning till night. We were easily putting 90 to 100 hours a weekend and not making money. Eventually we did, obviously. We built the business and we made money. We made really good money, but we weren't in the beginning. And so we have the ability. Oh yeah, it is. And Arnita says she just finished it. It is an excellent book. She's amazing. Elizabeth is amazing. But so we have this ability to offer a business to somebody that, I mean, you can go buy a McDonald's franchise. I don't know what it is, 250 million or $250,000. I don't even know what it costs, but it's a lot of money to open a McDonald's franchise. And you're still going to have to work your butt off 60, 70, 100 hours a week for probably years before you ever make a profit. With Avon, we have the ability to make a profit our first week. And so many people are afraid to talk about the Avon opportunity, but look at what we have to offer. If you're talking to a young person that's in college or just getting out of college, or a young mom that wants to be stay-at-home mom, literally they can get on their phone, they can do Instagram posts, they can do lives, they can do all this, and they can send people to their web store, their online store, and they can get paid 2 days later. I don't know of any other business that can do that. So understand what Avon has to offer, get really clear on that, and then you'll be in a better position to share that opportunity with others. Because the benefits that you're receiving as an Avon representative are powerful, and they're available to anyone else who wants them. So be proud of it. Be proud of what you have to offer. Be prepared to talk to people and ready to approach others about selling Avon without being afraid or without having to apologize, because there's nothing to apologize for. I really don't see a bad side in this. That everything about Avon is good if it's an opportunity you want. If they're not interested in an opportunity, they're not interested in working, they're just whining about needing money, don't worry about it. Just move on to the next person, because there's plenty of people out there who want the opportunity. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to go to work to make their dreams come true. So we just need to find them. That was kind of a big, like I was on a high horse, huh? Sorry. Okay, so make friends. The most successful Avon representatives, they learn how to make friends. So make friends and build relationships with people. That can make all the difference. And you can make friends with Avon representatives. You can make friends, join a local chamber, join a local networking group, whatever, but make friends with people. And focus on the friends before you start promoting the business, right? Or as you're becoming friends with them, when the subject comes up or when you find a need that you can fill, that's when you bring it up. You don't go to an event, meet people, and immediately shove it down their throat. I think most of you know that already. But so find ways to join groups and share hobbies. If you like needlepoint, if you like motorcycle riding, I have a girl on my team that rides motorcycles. If you whatever you like, find ways to get out and meet people doing that. There's all kinds of clubs and different meetup groups and stuff that are around all kinds of areas, and talking to people at those events and getting to know them and making friends is the great way to build your business. To work on the friendships first before prospecting, build that trust, and then those that join you they're gonna be solid partners because they're good friends with you already. So number 4, develop positive daily habits. So Avon teaches a 5x5 system, which means talk to 5 people a day, 5 days a week. Share the opportunity or the products or whatever. 5 people a day, 5 days a week. If you do this, it's going to be huge. And it's really funny because when I talk to people who aren't successful, I can almost guarantee you they're not doing this. It's just critical. If you're not talking to people every day about your business, you're not going to grow your business. And that's whether you're talking about sales or whether you're talking about recruiting, doesn't matter. But these are things that you need to be doing every day. Also, work to connect with 1 or 2 additional people from your network. Just connect with them, call them, send a message or comment on social media. Work to build relationships with the people you already know. Make them feel important as you're doing your 5 a day. So this would be on top of that, right? This would be building relationships and making friendships. So progress is perfection. And if you keep doing these positive daily habits every day, you'll find that your outlook and your business will change for the better.
Can I say on that subject there too, a lot of times you go to networking groups and you meet people and everybody there has something to sell. And a lot of times you're not going to find people there that are going to really want to buy your product or you're going to want to buy their product. But what you do is you make a connection and you can be referring to them. You know what they sell and they know what you sell, and they can hopefully run into people as they're going about their business, and they can refer people to you. And that's the key to that, I think.
It is. It is. Also, keep in mind that networking events, if you go to a networking event, almost everybody is there to get you into their business. And it's a little one-sided. So, but like Richard said, if you develop relationships with them, then you can take it to that second level where you're referring business to each other. Then it becomes really good. And bottom line is, if you're talking to a realtor or an insurance person or whatever they are, they still have skin. They still need skin products. So you never know. I mean, there's no reason you can't, over time, build the relationships and build the customers. Okay, so always be prepared. So have your Avon brochures with you. Be sure you have them labeled with a recruiting sticker on the front of it, your contact information on the back. Carry drawing forms with you. We have them right here. You can download them. These are my new drawing forms. And the reason that I've changed them is This one is, did you know Avon is now digital? So you're getting their contact information, and then you're letting them choose whether they would like to have a brochure in the mail, or if you don't do them in the mail, you can deliver however you want to do that. Digital by email or digital by text. So they get to choose how they want to receive your brochure. So we're giving them the best customer service we can based on their terms, based on what they want. And then it also has, I would like more information about selling Avon. So while, excuse me, when I am handing somebody one of these drawing forms to fill out, and they're filling it out, and while they're filling it out, I might ask them, I might say, hey, have you ever thought about selling Avon? You ever thought about making some extra money? We have a great opportunity. Or did you know that Avon is now digital? You could sell Avon and not even have to worry about putting out books if you don't want to. I'm sorry. Sarah Mills, love that. Love those. Awesome. Tracy, nice. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
You know what's more important on this form than anything else is you have their information, because 99% of the time, they're never going to call you again. But if you have their information, you have a way to contact them, to remind them that your order's going in, or to talk to them about more about the business, etc.
Yep, absolutely. This is critical, getting their information. And if you don't have these drawing slips with you, put a Post-it note. Just a Post-it note on the front of your book. I'm seriously, just like take your book, put a Post-it note on the front, and hand them the book and say, would you put your name and number on here so I can follow up with you before my order goes in? And if you are confident and positive and have no reason to act like you're scared or anything else, you just assume they're going to do it, guess what? 99% of the time they will. And the same thing is true with these drawing slips. Now, if they balk, or if they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to fill it out, then I say, okay, no problem. My information's on the back of the book. You know, we're not going to argue with them. We're just going to do the best we can to get their contact information, and so that we can move our business, right? So, so have those drawing forms with you to get the contact information. Also, you can create a contact of yourself in your phone. And it's funny, I've been teaching this for a while, but I just saw Renee Hobley posted in Northwest Region. She says, make the contact the first name, Avon. How smart is that? Because then you'll come up right at the top of their contacts. So create a contact for yourself, Avon Lynn Huber, and your phone number and your email and your website, your online store. Excuse me. And then you meet people. And if you're not doing brochures, or even if you are, you can still do this too. And you meet people, and then you say, here, let me, or put yourself in my phone as a contact so I can follow up with you. And then you can send your own contact to them. You can just, it's just from your phone, from text, you can send contact and send that to them, and then they'll have you in their phone. But that's another way to do it. And so now you've got them in your phone, in their phone, you're in their phone contacts, and they're in yours, right? Or connect with them on social media. You seriously can say, oh, let's be friends on Facebook. Show me where you are on Facebook. Pull up Facebook and let them pull themselves up and friend them. So those are all options. The key is to have their contact information or have some way to follow up with them. So be prepared for that. And then get really good at follow-up. This is something I teach all day long. And this is what I was actually referring to when I said you're probably going to get sick of hearing about it. There's almost nothing more important than follow-up. The most important is finding new people. You got to find new people, because you can't follow up if you don't have them. But then the second most important thing is follow-up. So first off here, I talk about following up with your customers. And, like it says here, we're all busy. All of us are busy. We have kids in sports. We have kids in dance. We have our jobs. We have 20,000 things going on at once. We're getting bombarded from all sides. We've got notifications on our phone all day. And the truth is, I could give you a brochure, and you might be looking at it late at night, or even, and I hate to say this, but it's true, you could be on the toilet looking at it. And because that's when you have the few minutes to do, if you're a mom especially, that's when you have the few minutes to do that. And you might see things you want, and you might even turn down the pages. But if I don't follow up with you, you're going to lay it down and you're going to totally forget about it. And then some point in the near future, you're going to be cleaning your house and you're going to pick up that book and you're going to go, oh, that's expired, and throw it away and not even remember. But if I follow up, there's a really good chance you're going to say, oh, hold on, let me get the book. I marked the pages. And so this right here is a post about following up with your customers. And so this is what I do. So I'm out and about. I'm giving people my brochures. I'm getting those drawing slips filled out. Then I come home. The first thing I do when I get home is I go to Campaign Mailer, and I add them to the people that want a brochure in the mail. I add them to Campaign Mailer. So here's a link to that. Here's the information. And that's the first thing I do, okay? Then I look to see if their phone is a landline or a cell phone. If it's a landline, I go to Dial My Calls. It's an online service where I can record a message. I can send it out, blast it out to all the people I want. And the truth is only 5 or 10% of the people that you get are going to have landlines. Okay. That's the only people that are getting this. And it's hey, this is Lynn, your Avon lady. Just a friendly reminder that my Avon order will be going in this Wednesday. If you've already placed an order, thank you very much. If there's anything I can order for you, please let me know by Tuesday evening. And if you don't need anything right now, no problem. Just have a great week. My phone number is, and if you'd rather not receive these messages, please let me know. Thanks for your support. Have a great day. These are the same messages that you're getting from the telephone solicitors, but they know you. This is their Avon. Hi, it's Lynn, your Avon lady. I'm just reminding you my order's going in. If you don't want anything, no problem. But if you do, give me a call. And so they're not going to be offended like they do with the telephone solicitors. And when I very first started doing this was probably 15 years ago. When I very first started doing this, all the Avon reps were saying, don't do this, don't do this. You're going to alienate your customers. But you know what? My customers loved it. They actually did. And back then, everybody was a voice message. And a lot of them would tell me, I don't even listen to your message. I just see that you called and I know that I need to get my order into you. So it's actually good customer service. And then if you have their cell phone, then I text them. And I use a company called Project Broadcast. It's all right here. And this is my text message. Hi, this is Lynn with Avon. Quick reminder, my campaign order goes in on Wednesday. If I can order anything for you, please let me know by tomorrow. Have a great day. And so this is what I do. As soon as I get home from every day, from any people that I've collected their information, I put them into my system. And so then at the end of the campaign, or when it's time to mail brochures, they're already in my campaign mailer. I just go to campaign mailer, I update my label that goes on there for the campaign and click send, and it takes me literally less than 2 minutes. And then I go and I schedule my voice recordings and I schedule my text, and both of them together take me less than 2 minutes because they're already all in there. If somebody was to call me and say, I'm not interested in getting these anymore, or if somebody were to respond to a text, then I would take them out right away. So that, again, when it comes time to do these follow-ups, it just takes minutes, okay? The other thing I want to say is, I don't care how good you are, how committed you are. If you have 100 follow-ups, how likely is it, seriously, that you're going to make 100 phone calls or that you're going to send 100 texts? Because if you do it on your phone, you're going to have to do them each individually. Yeah, you can copy and paste. But seriously, how likely is it you're going to do this? So by setting up a system, it gets your follow-ups. It pretty much guarantees. I mean, they're not automated. I mean, they are automated in that they happen automatically, but you have to schedule them every campaign. So it's not automated that way.
But the cost is really reasonable, and your time is much more valuable.
So here's, this is called Automate Your Follow-Ups. If you want to find it, you can search for follow-ups or automate, and you'd be able to find this. So this is for my customers. Okay, but we also need to follow up, and you're building a team, you're building a business. We also need to follow up with our prospects, those people that are interested in selling Avon. And sometimes they can be the hardest to follow up because, you know, you call them, they don't respond. In fact, I had a team member tell me that, oh, well, I quit following up because they never responded. Wrong answer. It's wrong answer. I'm sorry. Because people who are interested, in the back of their mind, they're thinking they want to sell Avon. They're not going to take your call or respond to your text if they're not ready to join right this minute, and they don't want to have to explain to you that they don't have the money or whatever their reason is. And so I also have a follow-up for prospects. So first off, I want to say Sarah says, wonderful advice. I'm not the greatest with follow-up. You know, none of us are, or none of us are automatically. We have to learn it. And so this is why I have a system, because the system does the work for me. I schedule it. I have it in my calendar. My order goes in. My campaign 7 order is going in on Wednesday. I place my order on the first day of the campaign. So I know that you guys are all thinking that's awful early, but my campaign 7 order goes in on Wednesday. So I have already scheduled. In fact, I had it in my calendar on Friday, 2 days ago, to set up my reminders to go out Monday morning, and they go out at 10 a.m. Monday morning. And I say, please let me know by Tuesday if you want anything. And so it's on my calendar. I schedule them every 2 weeks. I do this for my campaign. And you guys, this is huge. This is so huge because I can have $100 in orders on Friday when I'm writing my schedule, I'm scheduling it, right? Or even by Monday morning, I can have $100 in orders. And I send out my reminders. And by Wednesday, when I place my order, I'm up to $700 or $1,000. This is huge. Without those follow-ups, I'd be placing a $100 order.
On the subject of follow-up too, there's the old 80-20 rule. And basically what it is 20% of your work produces 80% of your income. But also in follow-up, 80% of people usually follow up one time and quit. But 80% of the people that sign up in pretty much any business, any kind of job, they take 5 to 8 touches before they will sign. They will think about signing up or joining. And so you need that follow-up. You need it 5 to 8, 10, 12 times before somebody makes a decision.
And I have followed up with recruits, potential recruits, for 1.5 or 2 years before they've signed up, and they've signed up. So you guys, don't let it get to you. And I also have a process for following up with recruits, and I'm going to click on that right now and show you. But this is really important to know that if you're talking about recruits, they're not going to respond to you until they're ready to join. They're just going to ignore you. And if, like Richard said, 80% of them are not going to sign up until the 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th time that you contact them, but yet 80% of reps will not follow up with somebody after the first time or the first week. So you got to get in the process of both following up with your customers and following up with your recruits. So here is my process for following up with recruits. If you want to search for this, it actually says Alma leads. So you could search for Alma to find this, how to follow up, work, and convert Avon Alma leads. I originally wrote this for Alma, but I also use this if I meet somebody and they're filling out a form, if I'm doing an event and they fill out a form, if somebody emails me, if somebody sends me a message on Facebook, whatever, I use the same system no matter what. This is for all of my recruits. So one thing I want to say is, like I said, do not ever stop following up until they die or they tell you not to bother them anymore, because you never know when the timing is going to be right. And I'm not saying that you should harass them and bug them every couple of days. I'm not saying that. So there's one thing I do is this talks about leads here. I contact my leads as soon as possible. So, you know, if I get an Alma lead, or I get a lead from Avon, or I get a lead from wherever, I contact them right away, because that's really important. I purchase premium leads from Avon. They're expensive at $10, but they're worth it to me. And then whether they are a lead or not, no matter how I got them, whether it was a show or whatever else, I do 4 things. I call them, text them, email them, and I send a postcard. So I have a series of postcards where they get 6 postcards over the next couple of months. So for postcards, I use a company called Pixingo, and there's a link here. I don't care if you go to the dollar store and you buy postcards and you handwrite them. It doesn't matter. The key is getting something in their hand. So because nobody gets anything in the mail anymore. They get all these emails and they get all these texts and they ignore them, or they don't. I can't even tell you. It's funny. I have people who will tell me, oh, I don't even check my email because there's so much spam in there. And I'm like, but you might be missing something. You know, I can't even imagine, because I am on top of my email. But getting a postcard in the mail can make a difference. And so whether you use a company like Pixingo, or whether you use, there's another company called Send Out Cards. Pixingo is less expensive. or whether you get cards from the dollar store and you mail them out, it doesn't matter, okay? So this talks about keeping track of the leads. I use Big Contacts. Once you have your first recruit, you can use Alma, and you can put all of your prospects into Alma, and you can use it as a follow-up system. You can even use your Avon.com, your contact manager, to schedule follow-ups, or if you have, like, use your calendar. So, like, you could set up, if you have a Google Calendar, for instance, you could set up not a task, like a meeting or whatever. Set up an event in your Google Calendar that says follow up, and then in the notes you can write the names of all the people you need to follow up with that day, and then you can just add to it, right? There's lots of ways to do it. The key is staying on top of it. Okay, so first thing I do is I give them a call. Now, if it's a lead, this is what I say. If it's not a lead, it depends on where it came from, right? But hi, this is Lynn with Avon. Just giving you a call because you requested more information about being a representative. Most of the time you get their voicemail. So I'm going to say my number is, please give me a call. I'm also going to text you and send you an email with more information. I look forward to hearing from you. If you get them live, you can say, hi, this is Lynn with Avon. I got a note that you're interested in selling Avon. How can I help you? And let them tell you what they want, right? Then I immediately follow up with a text. And I use a company called Shuffle. You can send a text from your phone. I'm not trying to promote that you have to spend money, but these are the tools that I use, okay? And then this is my Shuffle business card. And I'm not going to go into that now, but basically it says, hi, this is Lynn with Avon. You requested more information. Here's my business card because I'm using my Shuffle card. Now you can say whatever you want here. You know, here's my link to sign up. Or you want to buy products, or I'm here to help you. Here's my link of my website for more information, and you could give youravon.com/your ID, right? Then I send an email, and the subject says, thanks for your interest in Avon. The email's a little long, but I'm getting a good response from it. I originally got this from Lisa Wilbur, and so I want to give her credit for that. But, she's one of the ones that's making well over $400,000 a year, so she's obviously doing something right. And then I add them to my Quick Single account, and I send a postcard. So here is my scripts. So if you click on this, it's going to open a Word document. And what I do is I send, while this is opening, I call, text, email, and send a card right now. That's what I do right now. They get all of those in one day, okay? Then there's text in here, like text number 1, text number 2, text number 3, text number 4, and then there's the emails, email number 1, email number 2. They're all right here for you to copy if you want to, or you can edit them however you want. So how my system works is they get everything all right now. 3 days later, they get text number 2. 3 days after that, they get email number 2. And then it's weekly. So if it's like Thursday, then next Thursday, they would get text number 3. And then a week later, they would get email number 3. And then a week later, they would get text number 4 and then email number 4. And then I start spreading it out 2 weeks for about 4, 5, 6 times. And then I would spread it out for 3 weeks. And ultimately, it's once a month, alternating between text and email. So they're really only hearing from you once a month over time. And so stay on it, stay on your contacts, stay on your follow-ups until they sign up or tell you to stop. And sometimes they will. Sometimes a year later, they'll say, quit texting me. But I've also had, more often than not, 2 years later, they sign up, or a year and a half later, they sign up. So that's why you need to stay on top of this. So this is all right here, my scripts, everything that you can copy and use, okay?
You got 3 or 4 questions, so you may want to go back. Brenda
okay, so let's go.
Start with
Brenda says that is the truth. I think she's talking about follow-up. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's the one before that, just before.
Brenda says she's saving this information so she can go back and listen. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It's a Facebook Live, so it'll be there on our Facebook page, on the Online Beauty Biz Facebook page. It'll be there forever, so you can always go back. So thank you, Brenda. And Arnita says, thank you so much for sharing. I get lost sometimes on how to convert Alma leads. I think you'll find this will be really helpful for you, Arnita. Thank you. And then Lynn says, newbie question, what is Alma? Okay. So Alma is, I don't remember exactly what it stands for, Avon Leads Management something. And basically, once you have your first recruit, you're able to use the Alma system. And let me just show you really quick. If we go to youravon.com and log in. Now, if you aren't able to use it yet, you're not going to find it here, but it is right up here, Alma. And basically what Alma is Avon gives you the ability to buy leads if you want for $10. The premium leads are $10. And a premium lead is someone who goes to avon.com and they're not tied to anybody, but they go to avon.com and they go to sign up. That's what you're buying. So if they sign up, boom, they go to you. If they don't sign up, then you get a lead so you can follow up with them. And it's rotated around, and that's how that works. They also have shared leads, which are more like home business opportunity ads that they clicked on rather than actually going to Avon and trying to join. And those are $5, and you can buy those. But you can also use the Alma system. It's a whole follow-up system where you can put notes in what you said, and you can schedule your next follow-up. So you can go in every day and say, what do I need to follow up with today? And they all come up there and you can see your notes. So it's a great system for following up with your leads. It's a great system to buy leads from Avon. And it's just a benefit of being a representative. I think, let me just pull it up really quick. See, so like for me, I don't have any that are unopened. That would be new leads that I've gotten from Avon, and they text you when you get a lead, so you already know. And then follow-ups do. So I have 308 follow-ups that I have, but today I have 0. So if I log in tomorrow, it would tell me what I had, and then I could click on this and follow up with them and then reschedule the next follow-up. So anyway, that's basically what Alma is. So that's how I follow up with my leads. Again, this is probably, you need to get really good at follow-up. And I'm sorry, but that's all you're going to hear from me over and over and over again. My team hates it. But
yeah, the 3 most important things you can do in your business: follow up, follow up, follow up.
Well, bottom line is, actually, your business is easy. If you think about it, your business is not difficult. What's difficult is making yourself do it. What's difficult is not getting afraid of talking to people, right? But what actually you have to do to build your business is easy. So basically what you do is you prospect, you go out looking for new customers and new recruits. You get their contact information, or you give them a brochure or whatever, right? If you're doing it digitally, you give them a digital brochure. Then you follow up with them before you place an order. You place the order, you deliver if you're delivering to them. And then you start that whole process all over again. Then you get them a new book, you follow up, you take their order, you deliver. It's just that simple. That's all that there is to our business. So what you want to get really good at is prospecting for new customers and new recruits, and really good at follow-up. If you can get really good at those 2 things, you will be up there making that money. Okay, so let's go, move on. Tell good stories. So, there's a saying in our business: facts tell, stories sell. And it's really true. People don't really want to know facts. They might ask questions. They might ask you, what are the ingredients in this, or how does this work? But the truth is, most of the people that ask you those things really don't want to know. They're just trying to sound like they're smart. Like that they're not an easy pushover, that they're just going to buy it because you offered it to them. There are people that need to know the ingredients because there are people that are allergic to things. So don't get me wrong. I mean, there are people. But if you go into a long thing about what's in the product or how it works, you're going to lose them because they don't really want to know that. What they really want to know is, does it work, and will it work for me? So your answer can always be, if they ask you, if they ask about an ingredient, take them to your website, or you can go to your website and you can look. You can go on your online store and you can pull it up and it gives you all of the ingredients. But most of the time your answer can be, I really don't know. But what I do know is that it works for a lot of my other customers. They love it. And if it doesn't work for you, it's guaranteed you can get your money back. Usually that's all they need. It's just that simple. But also stories are really important. But let me back up a little bit. So Mary Alice Jones says, very true. I need to work on the follow-up. I have to get out of the mindset that I will be bothering them.
Yeah.
Mary, I can't tell you how many times I've had customers thank me for following up. Mm-hmm. They thank me because they're like, oh my gosh, I would have forgot to order and I'm scraping it out of the bottom of my jar. And I really appreciate it. You're not bugging them. It's just a reminder. And once when I first started doing, like 15 years ago, when I first started doing the automated follow-ups with the voice shot, it was voice shot back then, what I was doing. I would record a message and it would get blasted out to people's phones. My district manager was trying to tell me that I should say, oh, we have this item and this is on sale and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And I never wanted it to be a sales call. I just wanted it to be a courtesy. Hey, if you want something, my order's going in on Wednesday, so don't miss out. If you don't need anything, totally okay. I'll catch you on the next order. Yeah, right?
Good customer service.
It's customer service. That's all you're doing is providing customer service. And if they have questions or if they need recommendations, of course you're there to help them, right? So Carlene, hi Carlene, welcome. So get good at telling stories because, like I said, facts tell, stories sell. People don't really want to know all the facts. Their eyes are going to glaze over, but they love stories. I had a girl on my team, Betty. She's since passed away. But Betty, and this was probably 12 years ago. Yeah. Betty had some kind of, she had gastric bypass surgery. So she lost a lot of weight. She lost like 200 pounds. And, you really could see, she would make a big joke about her wrinkles, that she had huge wrinkles because she had lost all this weight because her skin didn't like stretch, it didn't go back in, right? And back then we had, I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was a clinical deep wrinkle something. It was like in a dropper. And it was like an oil that you put on the wrinkles. And she would sit at our sales meetings and she would tell a story about how she would put that on and she would sit in front of the mirror and she wouldn't leave for the day until she saw the wrinkles plump out. And, just telling that story, it was like an amazing story to tell your customers. And that's what your customers want to hear. This new elixir, this is amazing. So, it's 3 times more powerful than a serum. Yeah, they want to know that. Yeah, 89% of people showed improvement in texture, radiance, wrinkles, firmness, and moisture. But what will work even better is if you tell them what it did for you. What did it do for you, for your wrinkles? What did it do for your customer? Collect stories from your customers. They don't all have to be your stories. Collect stories from other reps. Because good stories are what's going to catch people's attention. People love stories. And you can do stories on Facebook. It's a whole lot better to tell a story than it is buy my products, right? So let's see. We got some more. Okay, backing up. Carlene says, life is busy. Customers love the friendly reminder. They really do. You're not bugging them. They really do love it. And they appreciate that you remembered to remind them. And then Tracy says, I got 5 orders today following up. Go, Tracy. Woo! Right. Follow-up is critical. So Carlene says hi, and she says, way to go, Tracy. Ka-ching. Awesome. So, so tell stories. Get in the habit of doing that. Okay, number 8, listen and ask questions. We've all heard this. Timothy said it the other day too. We have 1 mouth and 2 ears, right? That's a reminder to you that you should spend twice as much time listening as you do talking. Our customers want to be heard, and they don't really, you don't need to talk them into it. They can talk themselves into it. So ask questions. If you ask the right questions, your customers will talk themselves into buying it. And you show it to them and you let them try it if you have it to be able to let them try it, or you tell them your story and then you shut up. And it's funny. Richard and I, years ago, we didn't have we still don't. We don't have an upline. We didn't have any help. We used to pay for coaching. We would go to, big name like John Maxwell and big name and Jim Rohn and, to get our training. And there was a trainer named Danny Johnson. I don't know if any of you guys know her, but she was amazing. And we started her training back when she was a brand new trainer. And so it was small groups. I really liked that because we were in small groups and we'd be in there for 3 days usually. But she used to tell stories. Again, it's about stories, right? But she would say, when you're talking to somebody, and she's talking about on the phone mostly, but it doesn't matter. You can do it in person. You need to imagine that you have a roll of duct tape there. In fact, put it by your phone, she says. And then you would ask a question. She goes, you ask a question, and then you think to yourself, apply duct tape now. And you just shut up and you let them talk. But that's pretty powerful. Again, that's a story, right? But that's pretty powerful. Get that in your head. When you ask somebody a question, apply duct tape now. It can just be in your imagination. You can just, say it to yourself. You don't want to say it to the person, obviously. But let them do the talking. Ask questions and let them do the talking, and you will be surprised at how much more you will do as far as recruiting and sales. Because people who are interested in signing up to sell Avon, they want to. The only reason they haven't is because they have questions, right? And some of them will tell you they don't have the money, and maybe they don't. Maybe they really don't. But I think a big percentage of them, maybe 90% of them, it's not that they don't have the $25. Maybe it's because they're not sure that if they give you their last $25, if they're really going to make any money, right? So it's not so much that they don't have it. It's they're worried about, am I going to just sign up and pay $25 and be out with $25 and not make any money? Because, there's stories out there, right? We've all heard the stories about how so-and-so sold Avon and all they had was a garage full of product and didn't make any money. Well, we talked about that earlier. If they didn't do the work and they didn't do the follow-up, that would be why. And then why would they be buying all that product? I don't know. I don't suggest you do that. So just one of the most important skills as you're going about, there we go. Yeah. Carlene, apply duct tape now. Yep. And Tracy says, I really need duct tape. You know what? That has stuck with me. Danny Johnson, if you ever get the chance to listen to her, she's pretty amazing. It's Dani Johnson. She's pretty amazing. She's a great speaker. But it just cracks me up because that's always in my head when I'm talking to people, always. Okay, be enthusiastic. Avon Master Recruiters are always pumped up. Look at Timothy Brown. Is he not enthusiastic? But carry an active and energetic energy with them. People like to follow people who are going places. People like to follow people who are positive and have enthusiasm. Those things are infectious, and it's like you're honey to a bee because they are going to want to follow you. And so when you're enthusiastic, you help people feel good and comfortable around you. And when you have a smile on your face, they're likely interested in what you have to say. When you smile, the people you talk to are smiling too, right? So get yourself, and you guys, I've mentioned this before. I didn't talk about it tonight, but I'm basically an introvert naturally. Richard's Mr. Extrovert, but I'm basically introverted. And if I'm out shopping, and I don't have that as a goal that I'm going to meet people, chances are I'm not going to talk to a single person because I am pretty introverted normally. But I make it a goal. So I turn myself on and I leave the house with that goal. I'm going to get 5 names today, or I'm going to get whatever I'm going to get, right? Whatever my goal is. And so I turn myself on. So you don't have to be on all the time, but when you're working your business, you do. So keep that in mind and be enthusiastic. And then the last one, have huge dreams. Another story. Gosh, it's like I'm doing a lot of these stories tonight. Lisa Wilbur, she's a good friend of mine. I'm sure you know who she is. Oh, before I tell that story, very much so and true. Yeah. Tracy, are you like that too? You have to be on? Anyway, let's talk about Lisa Wilbur. So I don't know how many of you know her story. It's been out there for years, so maybe you know this already. She was really poor at the time. And she was working. She was married to a guy that she's not married to now, but she was working as a secretary, and she had worked hard to get that job. I mean, she'd had other jobs like working for 7-Eleven and other things, but she had this job working as a secretary. And for her, that was like huge. So it was like the biggest job, the neatest job she'd ever had in her life. And she got laid off and was devastated. And her husband said to her, well, you're selling that Avon. Why don't you do something with that Avon and replace your income? And she says, I was making $25,000 a year. There was nobody in my district or in my division that even sold $25,000 a year, let alone earned $25,000 a year. So she thought, I don't even know if that's possible. But then she looked at some of the other people who were successful, and she knew that no matter what, even if everybody was saying only 1% make the money. You know, we've all heard these stories. I told you about it at the beginning of our training tonight. Only 1% make the money. Well, in Lisa's mind, she's like, good. That means that I can do it. If 1% can do it, that means I can do it. And she just decided to go for it. But it's that way. If you look at all the people at the top, every successful Avon representative, the one thing they have in common is huge dreams. They won't accept less. They nurture their dreams daily, and they don't let them go. And once they achieve whatever they achieve, then they immediately reach for the next bigger dream. And that's what you need to do. So think outrageous, dream of massive success and goals, always work to expand your vision, and work towards a higher game plan. Decide to be faster and stronger. Make up your mind to recruit more and grow exponentially. So, you know, Avon gives us a lot of that already. They give us our trips. You know, we have the trip to Los Cabos. Did you reach for that? Are you reaching for that? It's not over yet. There's still 2 more campaigns. Are you reaching for that? Because reaching for those goals is what's going to grow your business, and it's going to help you. And what about Jamaica? You have plenty of time for Jamaica, so get busy and start reaching. But reach higher than that. Go for the top. You know, in fact, I think it was Lisa again that said, I figured if I would get to the top, and then I would decide what I wanted to do from there, because if I couldn't get to the top, then nothing else was worth it. So her goal immediately was to go for the top. So, about Timothy. Oh, yeah. Timothy was the one you were talking about. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And Brenda said, yes, love her story. And I assume you're talking about Lisa Wilbur. She has an amazing story. If you haven't looked her up, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, her story. It was in a video. It was in a video that Avon did that was called The Rich and Famous of Avon. And I know they're on YouTube somewhere because I've seen them. So if you don't know Lisa's story, Google her. Google Lisa Wilbur, and I bet you'll find it. So that's what I have for you guys today. I know that was a lot, but I hope that you found it helpful. And I hope that you guys, you know, I write blog posts 3 times a week for you. I write them for my team members and for everybody else. If you're in Avon, this is for you. I never had an upline. I grew a very successful business. It was like 8 years ago, I walked away from it. And those reasons are totally, I don't even want to go into that, but I did walk away from my Avon business 8 years ago. I never quit. I just never worked it. And then I came back 2 years later. And so now I'm working back up. So I'm not where I was 10 years ago, but I will be. I will be very quickly. Like in the next 2 years, I'll be back to where I was 10 years ago. So, but anyway, back then I was highly successful. I was at the top, well, not at the very top, but close. And I never had any help. Like I said, we went to Danny Johnson, we went to Jim Rohn, John Maxwell. We found all kinds of people that would train us that we could learn from. And that's how we built our business. And so I wanted to get back because I know there's a lot of other people that don't have uplines, or maybe they do have uplines, but their uplines already quit, or maybe their uplines not actively working their business. So everything here on Online Beauty Biz is for you guys. It's here to help you be successful. I don't hold anything back. I share everything that I have because there's plenty of business for all of us. And a rising tide lifts all the ships, right? If you're in a harbor and the tide lifts, all the ships raise. So why can't we all raise together? So anyway, that's it. So Arnita says, oh, Tracy, okay, I get it. I'm like that too about being enthusiastic and upbeat. Okay, awesome. And Arnita says, great call. Thank you. Tracy says, loved it. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate you guys. And Carlene, thank you. Thank you all for being here. So let me go back to this. Let me bring this back. So today's the 3rd, the 10th. So we will be here next Sunday, same time, same place. I'll post about it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, have a great week.
Have an awesome week. All right, you guys. See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.